What's good, everybody? So today we're looking into this video right here. Is Genshin Impact really that bad? Spoiler alert, yes. Recently, about like 2 weeks ago, I actually uninstalled Genshin Impact. Yep, I uninstalled it. And I said to myself, you know what? I think I'll come back for Snezhnaya. I'll come for Snezhnaya if that's good. But Natlan, I played through half of like 5.0 and it didn't really do anything for me. I'll be so honest. I'm not someone who will just like blindly hate. I'm not someone who will just blindly hate these games. I actually really love Fontaine. I thought Fontaine was really, really good. I actually think the Fontaine was the best gacha patch story we've ever had. And so I'm kind of disappointed in what Natlan really offered me initially. It didn't really grab my attention, didn't keep me around. And I want to see what Tharos, the gacha prodigy, has to say about it. So let's go watch this video. Subscribe! Yo, who wants to have sex?
Genshin Impact. Where can I start?
Boo this man!
Boo!
Genshin Impact is one of the most popular games in gacha game history. The amount of views that they get on their YouTube channel is absolutely insane. The game has been out for 4 years and they're still going strong when it comes to views and subscribers. But the real question is,
chat, do you want to know? Do you want to know how you get views on YouTube nowadays? Do you want to know how you get views on YouTube and how you build an audience on YouTube? I just make videos of saying why Genshin is bad. Can I be honest? Like, I think it's kind of reversed now. Just make videos of why you don't like Genshin Impact and a bunch of us will fucking watch it. I'll be real. It's literally everybody. Anybody wants to make gacha content, just make some kind of video that's shitting on Genshin in some way. We'll all fucking watch it in these communities, bro. If you're part of the Teto community, if you're part of like any of these communities, bro, just fucking make a video about why Genshin's bad and we'll all watch it. Like, it's really that easy. It's really that easy. Alright, anyway.
Why are there so many problems and why are people complaining about the game 24/7? My name is Pharos and in today's video, I'm going to pretty much dive in with you guys as to why Genshin Impact is the worst
Genshin Impact
game in history. Now, when we take a look back at when Genshin Impact...
No, I discovered you shouldn't go gadgets ranting about husbandos. Hell yeah.
Impact first got released. Genshin Impact was released during the pandemic. This was a time where everybody was inside their homes, inside their houses. There was
I was a day one Genshin player, guys. I played Genshin on launch day.
Live streams on
legit.
Twitch.
And I got Venti in my first temple. It was great.
And this was the perfect opportunity for Hoyoverse to release Genshin Impact. And that's exactly what they did.
I'm like not even kidding. It was COVID. It was me and my we had like a group of friends, like 5 of us. There's like 5 of us that like all played like Genshin on launch day, and we all like co-op together and stuff. It was actually really fun. I remember it. I got my Venti, nobody else did. Like on the first few days, and we all just like every night we played together. We just played fucking Genshin. We just coded and we grinded. Like we did the story. Like that's literally what we did. There was like a bunch of us in VCs on Discord playing Genshin Impact together. It was a really good time. I'm being dead ass. It was genuinely a really good time at the beginning, and we had a lot of fun. It was a game we could all play together. We actually utilized the co-op feature. Do you remember respawning chests misinformation? No, I don't remember that at all. I never like looked. I never watched gacha content. I only played the game. I never actually watched videos about Genshin. I just played it.
When they released this game, everybody was playing this game. The game completely took over the world. A lot of people.
It's a Breath of the Wild clone.
Literally blew up, and version 1.0 was definitely a good patch. This video is me.
It's like free, middle of COVID, free game that you can play on your mobile too, or on your iPads. It actually ran pretty well on mobile. That was kind of coming on the back of the Breath of the Wild hype too, and people wanted like a free alternative. Bro, it's you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. The problem isn't the games that they never improve it. Exactly. They never make it better. They never make it more. They never develop on the things that they're good at. It's crazy. People who say they never play Breath of the Wild usually. I played Breath of the Wild. But I can see a lot of people might have turned to Genshin because they couldn't play Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, you know, bashing a game. But I am going to give credit where credit is due. Version 1.0 was definitely amazing. The game was very, very fun. There was a lot of stuff to do, exploration, rewards. It was a fun game. But of course...
Do we all remember that Dvalin mission? Do we remember that Dvalin mission that was kind of goofy? Where you would actually like fly? Somehow we would use our glider to fly and to like shoot down Dvalin or something. And then that never happened again. They retconned that. We could never fly again. That shit was goofy our flying mission. And then Woowa came around and we had like a similar mission with like the morning hikes. Bro, funny. Bro, this dog was also fucking annoying, bro.
Version 1.0, that's when everything started to fall off. One of the main things that people complain about when it comes to Genshin Impact is the lack of content. Sure, people also complain about rewards, but I feel like content is far more valuable than rewards. Because if there is no content, then how are you going to enjoy the game? So content in this game is completely lacking. One of the main things that people...
It's story and events. The content in Genshin and most gachas is a story, and then they have the events that rotate around. Some times the events take a long time, like Honkai Star Rail, for example. You could have events that would take you days sometimes to do. If you're doing it all in one go, and sometimes they're very quick. For me, the issue with gachas is that it's as a live service game, you have to have really good... no, it's the blood pumping combat cap you don't understand. Nah, it's not the combat. It gets my blood going, bro. I just love Genshin combat so much. The thing about gachas that for me separates them, or what makes them kind of not as a good of an option to play, like as a daily game for me that isn't as enticing. Think of a game like Fortnite, for example. It's a live service game with very it has the most repeatable type of content of any kind of game, right? It's so it's the same. It feels like it's the same every time, but it's so repeatable, and people have fun doing the same thing over and over and over again. The problem with gachas with these being live service games is that the events are kind of like, they could be hit or miss. So sometimes there could be weeks where you don't give a fuck about it because the events aren't very good. You could do the events very quickly. You only need to log in to do your dailies, grind your gear, and that's it. And I think a lot of gachas are really missing that repeatability, the incentive to actually enjoy something every day that you're playing on. And I think if there's a gacha that capitalizes on that sort of everyday logging, actually enjoying yourself, having fun, doing something repeatable every day, then they're going to be in with a really good time. Then they're going to be in a really good time where you can make repeatable everyday content. Then we're going to see a vast improvement in people's happiness and satisfaction from gachas in general. That's really how I see about it. Anyway.
Genshin is that it is a free game. You know, a game like this, if we were to go back to like 2014, 2013, a game like this would cost like $59.99 in a PlayStation store. But the fact that they made this game for free...
if they made you pay for it, they'd actually make the story fucking good and tolerable and more cinematic. Let's be real. If they actually made this like a paid-for game, they'd actually try better to make the cinematic stories, cutscenes, everything a little bit better. I'll be real. There's no shot they would have kept it as is. Nah, I don't believe it.
The gacha game, every gacha game is for free. But that's one of the main things that caught everybody's attention when Genshin.
Yeah, that's why PvP is really good. No. That's such a good point. That's why PvP, the endless content thing, is a really good idea, and I want to see it in more gachas. Although it's really hard to do, because how do you do PvP in a system whereby paying more means you could do better, right? So I understand it's like difficult, but yeah.
People are like, oh, like, is this game actually for free? This game
the
looks
TCG,
like
not many people
like
the
nah,
TCG
this game
that
is
much.
actually for free. It's free to play, and that's what made everybody want to play this game. But once you actually get this game, boy oh boy, you're gonna wish that you never touched it. I can give you guys a list of reasons why this game is absolutely pathetic.
I do. You play the Genshin TCG. Well, you're a card game nerd, bro.
The system is actually a lot better.
You're actually a card game nerd, Rednu.
To 200. Still shit. It's still terrible, because when you look at games like HSR and Wuthering Waves, if you don't log in for like 2 or 3 days, all the stamina that you didn't use, they're stored up. And once you log back into the game, you can use all the stamina you didn't use when you were inactive.
But in Genshin Impact has a really roundabout system of getting getting away from this. I'm not a nerd. Red New, you're one of the biggest nerds that I know, but you're a really smart nerd, so I appreciate it. You're actually one of the really good nerds. You're one of the really nice card game nerds. Like, you're like one of the card game nerds that, like, IRL, I would actually like I would like hang out with you, you know, on first impressions. 'Cause a lot of card game nerds I wouldn't want to hang out with. I'd want to hang out with you. So like you're one of the good ones, bro. You're one of the good ones. So with Genshin, you don't have the stored stamina thing, but what you can do is when you have a certain amount of stamina, you could use your crystal flies, right, to make it into one of those items that will then double your drop rates. So you can effectively get like a day's worth of like double drops, like just by farming those crystal flies or whatever, but that requires you to use your stamina to do it in the first place. So it's not really a good method. It's not really, it's nice to get the double drop rewards, but it's not nice to like conserve stamina or anything like that. So I do think Genshin needs more of a system where like the stamina over time builds up and then you can use it, sure, but they find out very quickly that no one would play the fucking game. People will just leave it for a month and come back at the beginning of patches and then use all their stamina day one. Like that's why they haven't done it. That's why they haven't done it though, because they know people would just not play the game, come back in, use their stamina to build a character when they release, and leave again for a whole month. That's literally why they haven't implemented it. I shit you not. I guarantee you that's exactly why they haven't done it. Because they knew no one will actually play the game fucking every day then if they did that. They know.
When you didn't play the game. Meanwhile, for Genshin Impact, it's like if you're inactive for 3 days, they don't store your resin. You can't use any stored resin. It's just
because they know you won't play the game if they do that.
200 resin, and poof, it's gone. That's your content for the day. 3-minute gameplay content. That's all you get. And you think the stamina system is bad? Let's talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is 10 times worse. Repetitive as hell. It feels like I'm in an infinite Tsukuyomi doing the same thing over and over again.
I don't hate the combat or the gameplay in Genshin. I know there are a lot of people who think it's giga ass and it sucks, it's whatever. I think it's actually quite endearing in its own way. And a lot of the joy of gachas is like you're able to pull for so many characters, right? That you can make it interesting. You can switch between teams. You could try something new. But the rotations are really the rotations. You have your best in slot teams, and that's really how it is. You know, that's really how it goes, and you're not really going to deviate much from those rotations. I don't mind the elemental reaction system. That's just its thing. I actually really liked it when it first launched. I think it's pretty okay now. I think it's endearing. I don't hate it. But it's like, if you're looking for in-depth combat, you're not going to get it. But sometimes I like seeing my silly little characters doing their silly little ultimates, doing their silly little damage, and see the numbers go big. I don't mind that sometimes. I don't. But people who are expecting some kind of in-depth combat with tricks and sort of like hacks and cool tech to like, no, you're not going to find that in Genshin. You're not going to find that in Genshin. So don't, whatever. So I don't think it's like ass. It's just very simple. And you can use a bunch of characters to switch up your teams and maybe play a bit differently and find something new. But I agree, it's not like the best. It's not amazing, but like, I'm not going to be playing the game for 5 hours a day, so I don't really care if it's not like thrilling or whatever. But it's fine. It's fine. So I think calling it ass and terrible is like maybe not fair, but it's just fine. It's fine. I can't pull for the rerun of Malvika because we really get the too many pulls. Bro, that shit. What is Genshin doing with their pulls right now, bro, and their release schedules? It's so bad. It's so bad.
Elemental skill, elemental burst. Elemental skill, elemental burst. No combos, absolutely nothing. You're just running around doing the same thing over and over again. How is that enjoyable? How can you enjoy that?
Unless for quick swapping, unless you're playing Nouvelette, Farina, Yaimiko, Official, and Baizu, where like you have to use your Farina, and then as soon before she ults, you have to swap out, use your Baizu, use his skill. Which has a delay from when he uses his skill to when it heals the whole team. Use Farina's ult, use Nouvelette's thing, and then you all get healed, and then Farina can get her max, like, fan, whatever it's called, fanfare, and then she does more damage. So I think that's the example of, like, quick swapping, right? Or it's been a while since I played the game. I think there's something like that. You can do some weird swapping shit with... that's the only thing I remember.
How can you sit in front of your computer, do the same thing for 5 hours straight and say, oh, peak gameplay, amazing gameplay. Genshin Impact is the best game ever. You got to be delusional, man.
Yeah, no,
Now,
the best
one of
game
the
ever.
main
Absolutely
things that
not.
pissed me off
Yeah,
about
the
Genshin
best game
Impact-
ever. No, you're wrong. Best game ever is such a fucking stretch, bro. Holy shit.
is version 1.2. There was an event. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. There was an event where you can get this free 4-star weapon called Festering Desire. This 4-star weapon is still an amazing 4-star weapon, but the problem is that if you are a new player, let's say you played the game in version 1.3 or you joined the game in version 2.1 or any update after version 1.2, you can't obtain this weapon.
Bro, there's also like another weapon that I really wanted for my Farina. I forgot what it was called. Maybe it was this one. But there's another weapon that I wanted for Farina because I didn't play the game enough when it first came out that I never got to use it in my Farina. And it was really annoying. So I had to use like some bullshit.
Obtained it. There is no way for you to get this weapon. So the fact that they're making events, they're creating events where they implement these cracked.
It was Festering Desire. It was. I thought it was something else too, but forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've done this since, right? I don't think they've done this since. Like, I don't think there's been an event where you can only get an event weapon. So, like, I think, like, it's fair to bring it up like it was a bad thing, but it's not like it's a reoccurring thing. So I think to bring it up is a little bit unfair. Am I being nice to Genshin? Am I being nice? I think it's a little bit unfair to bring it up when they don't do this really anymore because people were not happy about it. They've done it a ton. They have? The fish weapon? But, like, have they done it recently? There's a ton of exclusive event weapons? Every other patch, they do? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that's ass. Yeah, okay, wait, that's Giga shit. Wait, never mind. I take it back. That's Giga shit. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I genuinely thought there's no way they would keep doing it, right? There's no way they'd keep doing it. Okay, that's Giga shit. I take it back. That's fucking ass, bro. That's fucking shit.
4-star weapons, and they're like, all right, if you don't play the game during this time, you can't get this weapon.
But someone could argue, oh, it's like if you could only get seasonal skins in Fortnite. So it makes sense if you don't play, then you don't get. But yeah, there's one thing to have cosmetics. It's another thing to have weapons that actually have certain stats and certain attributes that do certain things, right? It's very different. It's very different. If it was an event skin, sure, I don't think anyone would complain, right? If it was an event skin, no one would complain. But weapons that actually affect how you play your characters, like how good your characters might be built, yeah, that's not good.
Are you serious? Are you actually serious? So not only are these events,
they should give skins and not weapons.
Limited when it comes to the time and the duration. Not only are they limited, but if you don't participate in these quests, there is no way for you to obtain the rewards in the future. Now, some people might say, you know, there are some gacha games that do this, but when you look at HSR literally has like an archive.
It's a single player game. Why care? Infinity Nikki is a single player game, and people like the way things look. People like how their character looks. You know what I mean? That's just really it.
You can replay a previous event and you can still get the rewards. And sure, people will say, well, it's going to take too much space and all this nonsense. You can delete it. If they just give you the option to delete that event once you get the rewards, you're good to go. It's like there are so many ways for the devs to fix this game. There are so many ways for them to satisfy us, but they just choose not to. They choose not to because they just don't fucking care. The community has been asking for one thing multiple times. Not even one thing, but we've been asking for this forever. Where is the skip button? The game has been out for 4 years, and you guys still haven't implemented a skip button.
They're not going to.
Any Hoyocuck.
They're not the Hoyocuck. No, this guy hates Genshin, bro. This guy fucking hates Genshin, bro. That's so, oh, the Hoyocuck. The problem, Genshin's never going to have a skip button because that will bring down the statistics for their, not watch time, but active, like, user time in the game. Holy essaying, Rednew. The problem with gacha gamers is that they have to share the same game as the casual player base that must be catered by this game. But it's until a gacha game wants to go out on a limb and cater to the more hardcore niche, the games will always be frustrated. Absolutely. A million percent. A million fucking percent. Even when you get a game like Woo-Wah, they still can never go full Souls-like or even Monster Hunter. The thing is, I think they could. I think they could make modes that cater to more hardcore players. But then you have the issue of like, oh, how do you implement rewards for that? Because every gacha player will want to be incentivized by rewards and pulls by the game modes that they play and the content that they do. And if you do that, you'll have the other half of the people complaining, oh, well, it's too hard. Casuals can't get the rewards. This is unfair. How are we meant to get characters? So it's really fucking difficult. So unless they find another incentive that isn't maybe like pulls specifically for like hard, quote unquote, hard content, it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be a difficult one.
Into the comment section and say, oh, the reason why they don't want to put the skip button is because, you know, the game is about the story. Fuck that. I don't care. I don't care because Wuthering Waves has a skip button. So Genshin, they can do the same exact thing. If another open world gacha game, if they have a skip button, Genshin can do it as well. There is absolutely no reason for them to not have a skip button in their game. It makes no sense. The reason why they're doing this is because
casuals are always going to be the majority and they're always going to be the target. Sure, because they give them playtime, they give them added the time, and then it's the whales. Whales could also be super casual too. A lot of whales are casuals, don't forget, because they just want to not have to think about those, dump a bunch of money, get the cards, not think about it, and press buttons, bro. Whales are also super casuals. So that, yeah, so absolutely.
Because they want to generate more playtime revenue. They want you to sit on your chair, look on your computer, look at your computer, and spam click with the controller. That's what they want you to do. Because you doing that gives them more money. The more you play the game, the more money they get. They
always have to be a consideration. No company or investor is going to be like, no, I don't like money. Exactly. And these games make a lot of fucking money. They make a lot. So why would they suddenly implement something that will make them less money? They won't. That's why Genshin doesn't really change. They still make a shit ton of money every fucking month. Why would they change what they're doing? There's no incentive to.
So that's the main reason why they don't want to take off the skip.
Final Fantasy 14 is praised by its story that has a fucking skip button. You talking about the MMO? You talking about the MMO? Bro, holy shit. The yapping that in the story is crazy. Like, I'm not a story skipper, and I found myself skipping Final Fantasy 14. That shit is long. That shit is long. Too long. Too long.
Button, because they know as soon as they implement that skip button, their playtime revenue is cooked. Their playtime revenue is gone. People are going to play the game for like 10 minutes.
It has a decent story, but it's too long, bro.
That's their gameplay. But they don't want to do that. So therefore, every time a new patch releases, every single time a new update releases, new story comes out, no skip button. They force you.
Hot take, all MMOs suck. Apart from World of Warcraft. The Warcraft story is actually pretty interesting. There've been a couple of actual expansions which were kind of dogshit story. Thinking to Cataclysm and Shadowlands, they were kind of ass, but there has a lot of stories that actually were really engaging stories. The base like Warcraft game story really fucking good. A lot of the stories in WoW are actually pretty good, but some of them have been shit, but it's actually not that bad.
You to go through it so that they can get more money. I'm telling y'all, bro, Hoyoverse is by far one of the scummiest companies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Predatory.
They're
predatory, bro.
With Netmarble, for sure. You know,
oh, so I don't. Would we? Do you want to? Are we gonna go? Maybe.
The story make it seem as if Genshin has one of the
Legion was a really good expansion. I like Legion a lot.
Gaming history, which is clearly false. The game is completely overhyped when it comes to the story, and I'm gonna explain why. The Traveler. The Traveler has like 5 elemental abilities, right? Pyro.
Yeah.
He's about to have Pyro. Electro, Hydro, Dendro, Geo, Animo, etc. Right? He has all of these elemental abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Why do the devs refuse to make the Traveler use these elemental abilities in a fight? He went up against Arlecchino. He used 0 elemental abilities. He just used a freaking 1-star weapon to Dual Blade, which makes absolutely 0 sense. Why would you use a 1-star weapon against the 4?
That is true. Why does he use his abilities more?
Stupid. What happened to Festering Desire? It's like after version 1.2, the weapon just disappeared. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. The weapon is just gone. What happened to Festering Desire? I mean, and let's go ahead and talk about the power scaling when it comes to the story. I mean, the power scaling when it comes to the Traveler is just
While story is good, but the gameplay is mid. We can go into that another time. Only the avatar, bro. It's like it's just because there are moments where you could see like whatever region the Traveler has a certain kind of like element equipped, but he never uses it, and it's just like it's like a part of his core identity. Part of the whole lore is him getting these powers because it means something really important. It means it has a very significance to the lore and story where the Traveler is able to do this, and then he doesn't utilize it in the games. It is kind of weird.
just completely moronic. Like this one cutscene where Nahida, she got stabbed by these bandits.
Ooh.
I mean, at this time, the Traveler has Electro. Once again, he refuses to use his elemental abilities. And
true.
makes absolutely zero sense. But he can speed blitz. Like, he becomes a speedster when he has Electro. When we look back at Toma.
But right now, he's got a Dendro equipped, bro. What's he gonna do? Calculate them to death? What's he gonna do, bro?
When Raiden Shogun was going to take his vision, the Traveler, he pretty much uses Electro abilities to speed blitz and get the vision on
that's
time,
cool.
And he also
That was really cool, bro. This was really cool. Actually, this cutscene was actually pretty cool. I think this critique is fair. Oh no, totally.
Handcuff, take the handcuffs off of Toma. So it's pretty obvious that
this was one of the better cutscenes in the game. Even though I don't think Inazuma is like that great, I still think it's like pretty good. This cutscene was pretty good.
Traveler, he has like speed type ability. Like he's actually a speedster. He's very, very fast. But for this cutscene, it's like, okay, I see that these bandits are about to stab Nahida or Catherine or whatever. Let me not use my Electro abilities to save her.
Well, nah, because he's got to use Dendro when he's in Sumeru, right?
Let me just run in slow motion and do absolutely nothing and watch her die. This is the peak story you guys are talking about. This garbage right here. This is peak storytelling. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the Electro Archon. Oh boy, oh boy. You know,
oh
Inazuma,
my god, Raiden May annoyed the fuck out of me, bro. Y'all, okay, just admit, chat. Y'all only liked Raiden May because she pulled a sword out of her fucking huge tits. That's the only reason that you like her. And you can't change my mind. Y'all like her because of the sword pulling boobies. That's it. That's it, man. Raiden May? Wait, what's her fucking name? Wait, is that not her name? Wrong game? Fucking not Ruan May. Fuck, what's her name? Bro, oh my god, what's her fucking name? Raiden Shogun? Oh, the Raiden Shogun. Fuck, it's been so long. The Raiden Shogun. Yeah, Raiden, bro. The Raiden Shogun, bro. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, bro. I'm so cooked, bro. Raiden Shogun, bro. I'm fucking cooked. Bro, I'm so fucking... Yo, thank you for... we got new chatters here today. We got new fucking chatters. Yo, I appreciate your follows, man. If you're here, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Bro, fucking hell.
Families were separated. People couldn't go back to see their families in Leeway.
She's the only Archon I don't have. Raiden Shogun's the only Archon that I don't have, and it annoys me.
Started, people were dying. But, you know, after that ended, Traveler was like, you know what? I don't really care. As long as I get to clap some robotic cheeks, I'm fine. He went on a date with her. She said, no, fuck Inazuma, bro. Take a picture with me. This is the peak story you guys are talking about. This is peak storytelling. You know? Peak storytelling.
I don't think that many people say that like Genshin is peak storytelling. I don't think I've seen... I know there are people who be like, oh, Genshin's a really good story. I don't think many people say it's peak storytelling. But people say that it's really, really, really good. Yeah, nah, it's not. It's not. It's so mid. It's so mid. Some of it is bad. Some of it, first half of Sumeru, some of the worst experience I've ever had in gacha gaming. Genuinely shit. So bad. Bad. Awful.
All the civilians in Inazuma, they just looked at
but
her
it's
like,
fine.
oh, that's Raiden Shogun. We're going to act like she never locked us up in this nation. We're going to act like she never took our visions, made us absolutely pathetic, you know, made a lot of people suffer. We're going to act like that never happened, and we're just going to be cool with her. Amazing story. No, and before we entered Inazuma, you know, all the NPCs and Leeway, they were straight up gassing up Inazuma, making it seem as if Inazuma was like no man's land. It was going to be a crazy nation. It's going to be nothing but battles, nothing but wars. You know, everybody was excited. Once we went there, Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you guys, that shit was a disappointment. The war was an absolute joke. It's like
the story got better during Fontaine. Bro, Fontaine was peak. Fontaine's my favorite Gacha story. I really liked it. The VAs carried it, was amazing. The prison bit was the only bit that was a bit kind of like, ooh, shitty to play through. I really like Fontaine.
Thing happened off screen. Like, we didn't really see much. Like, the war really happened off screen. They just said,
it was an off-screen war.
200 people died last week. We're not gonna show you, but we're just gonna let you know that 200 people died last week. By the way, that was the war. They
can't show. It's a child's game. It's a child's. They're not gonna show you war. They're not gonna show you real war in a kid's game, bro. I guess it is a kid's game. You know what I mean? They're not gonna show you war and murder and death and blah.
And when the traveler went to like the island, to like the resistance or whatever, I completely forgot with
that. What like the Enkanamiya stuff is, yeah, with the Kokomi, yeah. They did the Inazuma, but not like a huge large scale war. This is what we're talking about, right? This is what we're talking about. It's not like a huge large scale war, like a couple of people like fighting it out.
Goru, I think that was his name. But he went to like the resistance, and then Kujosara came with her army. I really thought that we were going to get, you know, an all-out battle, like it was going to be insane. No, we got a 1v1 session with NPC soldiers, I think like 3 of them, and that was pretty much it. They pushed us to a cutscene.
Yo,
like
Mustang, appreciate you.
Cutscene, and that was pretty much it for the battle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really all we got when it comes to the war, the Inazuma War. We got a 1v1 session with random NPCs that we don't even know. We got a 20-second cutscene, and that was pretty much it. That's it. That was your war.
I love war.
And another thing I really want to touch on is the fact that
Kurobots versus Hoyo Shields. War now. Engage war.
It's just so dumb to me how they refuse to kill off some of these characters. And then some people are like, well, you know, Hoyoverse, they don't really do that. Yes, they do. When you look at Honkai Impact 3rd, I'm pretty...
Who should they have killed off? Who should they kill off in Genshin? I think they should have killed off... So I think who do they have killed off that would make a good impact? Interesting.
I'm sure there was one character who died in that story. No, they can do it. They just refuse to do it because I don't know. They're just stupid.
I mean, technically, Signora died. Technically, even though she's not a playable character, you know. Happy New Year, man.
They're just incompetent. They're dumb. They have so many opportunities to kill off some characters in this game. Zhao is the #1 character that they should have killed. Zhongli should have never saved him. I'm telling you guys, if Zhao died, that would have impacted the story a lot more. That would have made the story a lot more interesting. That would have made people quit the game long ago, return to the game because characters are now dying. I'm telling you guys, a character dying makes the story more meaningful. It makes the story more interesting and more intense because, you know, characters are dying. But the fact that every single time we have a situation...
Oh, you know what? The Xiao thing. That is so true. I remember I was like, I thought that whole bit with the cabin was actually kind of interesting. And the interaction between Zhongli and Xiao was actually really nice. And I kind of wish... I don't want to say I kind of wish Xiao died, but if he did, that would have made that so much more impactful. That was so impactful. I kind of like the interaction, but like it would have been... I think if you're a Xiao... I think the Xiao mains would have been too angry. The Xiao mains would be... Bro, there's a lot of them, bro. There's a lot of them. If they would have killed off Xiao, like one of the most like loved characters by people, nah. I think people would have been too upset about that. They really would. They really would. The game is a Disney fairy tale where Prince and the Princess happily married and have a good life. Yeah. They don't want to piss off the player base. They go to treat this game with kids' gloves because that's what the player base bets. Oh, true. Oh, true. They're not gonna do anything drastic now at this point.
For example, we have the Pyro Archon. They're saying, oh, the Pyro Archon might die, this and that. Let's be honest, guys. The Pyro Archon is going nowhere. She is not gonna fucking die. It's just Hoyoverse being a piece of shit, gassing up their fucking story, and it never happens. The Pyro Archon is gonna die. I think Capitan is gonna die. Nobody's gonna fucking die. They're not gonna do it. It's the same bullshit over and over again. They gas up the story, right? Once they gas it up and you actually play it for yourself, it's nothing but a disappointment. It's the same loop over and over again. They gas it.
But Wuwa had the same issue where Showkeeper should have sacrificed herself. I said the same thing. I said the same thing, and people hate me for it. So I'm not going to give my opinion on Showkeeper any story anymore because all the Kurobots in my chat will hate me. because my chat's full of Gorobots now, so I have to not talk about it anymore. But yeah.
It up, all these NPCs say a whole bunch of gibberish, and then once you actually go through the story, everything they said doesn't happen. Now, that's enough when it comes to the story. I can go on and on and on about the story, but it's pretty obvious that the story is inconsistent. It's obviously repetitive and boring, and some parts of the story make absolutely no sense. The power creep, like not the power creep, power levels are just dumb. Like the way that they power scale these characters is just stupid. It just doesn't match, especially when it comes to the Traveler. Like he was able to fight Tartaglia, but he wasn't able to save Nahida against bandits.
Yeah, that's dumb. The powers, like, they always dumb down the Traveler. Like, oh, he's this god, he's powerful, he has all these powers, like he is this like being from another world. Like they hype up the Traveler to kind of be like a god, kind of like Rover in some way, although it was more of a slow burn to get there, right? Yet the dude seems fucking useless half the time. That's just the way these things are, man. It kind of is the way they have to like reduce their power. They have to make them feel dumb as they are. So everything, the good stuff feels bigger. So everything else feels bigger, and it's just inconsistent. It's one of the things that I don't like. Be consistent with how you present your characters, but no, they have to constantly reduce them down and dumb them down so they fit in with the other cast around them. They have to make them fit in with the cast around them, put them on their level. Otherwise, it's like I can't see what to do, because imagine in Jujutsu Kaisen, imagine if Gojo Satoru was the main character for the entirety of the JJK story. It would be fucking boring. So what did they have to do? They had to seal him away for like 3 years in the actual manga so a story could actually progress, right? Having really powerful characters in a story where everyone else around you isn't at your level makes for a really bad story. So I understand what he's saying, and they could have made him at least look like a fucking idiot. 100% agree. But having super, super strong, ridiculously strong characters doesn't make sense in stories. It will ruin your story writing and storytelling. But yeah, Traveler is way too dumb, and how he uses his powers, it's weird. It's definitely weird. The power scaling is weird.
I just don't understand that part, but we're just going to leave that behind. What I want to talk about now is quality of life updates. So one of the main things
3 years is crazy. He was gone for a few weeks or something. No, in like actual like manga time. Okay, it was like 2 years of the manga where Gojo was not in Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Like he's equal parts in the story or not in the story. You know what I mean?
People complain about is quality of life and how the devs refuse to improve the game. Now, one improvement that most people were looking forward to was the artifact improvement, like you be able to select which main stat you want and which substats you want for a specific piece.
Mm-hmm.
HSR has this. I'm pretty sure other games. Wuthering Waves doesn't have this, but HSR has this feature. Now, they implemented this in version 5.0, and you know, this was like, everybody was hyped about this, including me. I was like, yo, let's go, bro. They're finally listening. They're finally giving us an opportunity to, you know, get the artifacts we need to build our characters, even though it's useless at the end of the day because there is no end game. But it's still good that, you know,
I mean, Spiral Abyss is end game, bro.
When it comes to the artifact system, lo and behold, that system that they introduced in the game, I think it's like the elixir system, is complete dog shit, and it is a waste of time. That shit is a disappointment, because in order for you to select the main stats you need, most people would go for circlet, you know, to get crit rate, crit damage, and it will go for the cup. Not the cup, but the goblet.
They call it the what?
Damage bonus, a crowd damage bonus. Like, you will get elemental damage bonus, because it's really hard for you to get a specific elemental damage bonus for a specific character. So those are like the two main things people were, you know, grinding for. People wanted to pick when it comes to selecting which main set that you want for a specific piece, circlet or the goblet. But in order for you to get these elixirs, you would have to.
Triangle.
You
Star
can
Angel.
only get them
Strangle,
once every, I think, 2 months or once every month.
Yeah, that's
so
not enough. That's like one roll. Nah, that's good.
Or 2 months.
That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Keyword one. One artifact, one custom artifact, and the worst part is,
that's terrible. That's so bad. That's so bad.
The chances of you receiving good substats, the chances of you leveling up, you know, the
having good rolls, having good rolls, bad.
It's not gonna happen because you might.
If it takes 3 months to do that, they should give you the substats you want. That's fucking crazy. It's so useless. It's so bad. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's a thing they gave to the kids to be like, oh, here's a cool thing. I'm sure you'll be happy now. No, shut up. No, and it's still bad. Who said this was a good idea? Who?
Flat defense or flat attack. So it's like at the end of the day, it's useless. It's like at this point, Hoyoverse, this is like one of their unique abilities. They have the ability to disappoint and give you hope at the same time. They give you hope, and then 2 seconds later, you're disappointed. I don't understand how they do it. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. They're very, very good when it comes to disappointment. So that system is complete trash. Like, it was like that's one of the main things that made people have hope for this. That's one of the main things that made people want to return to this game, was the new artifact, the elixir system, where you can
bad elixir system.
Use these elixirs.
Get it out. Have they fixed it yet?
Get custom artifacts.
Have they fixed it yet?
Customize these artifacts. But the fact that you have to sacrifice 5-star artifacts to only get 1 artifact per month is just complete garbage. Plus, they spend money to get more elixirs in the battle pass. So it's like what they're pretty much saying is that if you're a free-to-play player, fuck you, we don't care about you. But if you do spend money on the game, you're gonna get more elixirs.
Ew.
You guys are fucking pathetic. Dawei, once again, if you're watching this
Dawei's gonna start crying.
If you're not,
he's gonna start crying, bro. You can't do that.
If you're watching this video, bro.
Nah, don't do Dawei like that, bro.
Let's go ahead and talk about how Natlin characters
always crying,
exploration abilities are useless outside of Natlin. You know, sure, you can still use their abilities, but it's only gonna last for like 3 seconds. So what's the point? Like, what are we doing? Hoyoverse, what are you guys doing? Dawei,
I have a controversial opinion about like QOLs and exploration mechanics. I think I might make a dedicated video about it. I think having exploration mechanics built into characters that you pull for is totally fine. I actually think it's totally fine. Why? Because you pull for gacha characters because they do unique combat things, right? But a game like Genshin Impact, it's half combat, half open world exploration, do everything else new in the story. So open world exploration is actually like a pretty big deal. So if you can pull for characters for unique combat, I think it's also okay that you pull for them for unique exploration things too. The problem is when that is locked in a certain area, that is awful. That's terrible. That's genuinely bad. That I think is awful. That's so shit. That's so shit. But characters that could have certain cool things they could do, that's fine. It's a gacha game. You pull for cool mechanics and characters. That's cool. But locking them to a region like that, ooh, bad. Making it worse, ooh, outside of it, nah. Bad. Really bad. Really fucking bad.
Baby, what are you doing? Like, this guy really thinks that his tears are gonna save him. Like, it's really funny how people thought that, you know, Dawei crying was gonna, like, he really thought that was gonna do something. No, it's not gonna do anything. Those crocodile tears won't do shit. Take the pacifier out your
pull
mouth,
the mechanic, sneeze, Naya.
And then people are gonna defend him and be like, oh, you know, it's lore accurate that, you know, Natlin characters are, you can't use their, you know, exploration abilities outside of Natlin because of phlogiston energy. Okay, so you want to talk about lore accurate. How come archons, they receive fall damage? How come a character who can split a mountain in half, they die to fall damage? How come they can drown underwater? Let's talk about it. How come?
Interesting.
How come Venti, an animal archon, the god of wind, he can't gather Klee's bombs with his wind abilities, but Kazuha, who's a human being.
But I generally think this is the case of the devs not really knowing the extent that they'd go with their characters down the line and their abilities. Like Venti was the first 5-star, limited 5-star ever. It's gonna be shit. It's gonna be shit. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah. I think it's just like an oversight. I think that is just an oversight of where they'd end up. I really do.
Who got his powers from Venti? Who got his powers from the animal archon? He can gather Klee's bombs. You guys want to talk about lore accurate? Talk about that. Like, there are just so many problems in this game. I can go on forever about it. But last thing we're going to talk about is this community. This community is by far one of the most disgusting communities I've ever seen
Oh boy.
In my life, to be honest, like there's always a toxic.
No.
Whenever you look at a gaming community, right? League of Legends, Valorant, Clash of Clans, there's always that one toxic group. Like there's always
in every community ever
portion of toxicity in every
guys
community.
I was someone who was very, very into a lot of like manga communities, a lot of anime communities. Bro, some of the most toxic motherfuckers you've ever seen. Holy shit. Oh my god. It happens to any community you're ever part of.
But Genshin?
But Gacha? Oh.
Genshin is like on a whole different level.
I think it's just Gacha.
Like,
I think it's just Gacha communities.
Mentally ill.
No, I think honestly, my opinion, I think it is just Gacha communities in general. There's just more of them in Genshin because it's a bigger fan base. I genuinely believe that. Like Genshin is wild. It's happened for longer. There's more fans of Genshin. There's more toxic people in Genshin. You hear them more. I think all Gacha communities are all equally as fucking toxic. They're just more Genshin fucking tards. It's so weird. It's so weird. Don't understand my favorite game. Like they exist everywhere. Genshin people are also crazy because like think of the you have to take into account demographics too. A lot of people who really, really, really love Genshin are probably on the younger side too. So you're gonna have a lot of like teens, maybe early young adults, whatever, that are having like insane takes. Who are having insane takes and kind of intolerant to things too, right? So you got to keep in mind who the demographic is that the Gacha is also targeting. I think like Woowa does have more of a mature audience, which will factor into their community. But I think overall we could say most Gachas are like, yeah, kind of toxic as hell no matter what they are.
You death threats, right? Over characters, fictional characters. If you literally told somebody that, hey, Mavwika, I don't think she's a cool character, that person, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled up to your house with a gun and they said, you know what? I'm going to kill you. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that because these people are mentally ill. It's like they synchronize their life with the game. And it's like if you criticize the game, it's like you're criticizing them. So therefore, they feel offended. These people are sick. Like I'm pretty sure there was an incident where like Infinity Nikki, Genshin players, like they went to like Infinity... Yep. Like they went to the Infinity
So what happened? They had the Infinity Nikki website. They hacked the website and the Love and Deep Space one. It was the launch day of Infinity Nikki and Love and Deep Space. They hacked it and they were like, "Don't play this garbage. Play our Genshin Impact private server instead." And gave a Discord link. That shit was wild, bro. People were like, "Oh, it's not the Genshin Impact players who are doing this. It's someone pretending to make the Genshin community look bad." No, why don't they advertise a fucking private Genshin Discord and a server? If it wasn't the Genshin people who were doing it. Are you adult? Use your brain for more than 2 minutes? Hadoing? Maybe use your fucking brain?
Community or whatever, and they I think they hacked the game, like they hacked
one toxic person,
website, something like that. Maybe this is true, maybe this is not true. I don't know, but I heard this rumor that Infinity Nikki, their website, or I don't know, they got hacked. And then they said like the person who hacked Infinity Nikki, they're like, "Oh, Genshin is better. Go play Genshin," something like that. It's like I'm telling y'all, bro. Genshin community is. Sick.
I would like if this guy. I feel this guy's like has some like bullet points that he's talking about. I think this video would be a lot better if he were to provide like maybe the receipts for this, maybe a little bit more, maybe like show people, make it a little bit more concise,
People are mentally ill. They are mentally challenged. And what makes it so hilarious is that
I still website got hacked, shows it really easy SQL injection. Oh my god. This nerd speak, bro. Why do I like it? That's crazy.
People criticize this game, they get so offended. They're like, "Oh, stop. Leave my multi-billion-dollar company alone." Like they get so pissed off about it. And it's like, bro, do you understand that me criticizing the game makes the game better? Like, if you love Genshin that much.
Criticizing the game makes the game better, but you have to provide good feedback. I think a lot of people think, "Oh, I want to criticize the game." But you have to criticize it in the way that you're also, like, providing and adding something to it. Like, people say, "Oh, this thing is just bad. I don't like it." Okay. But you have to give why. You have to justify your reasoning why something is bad. I think that's the thing a lot of people in the community do. I think it's on both sides. There is a side that don't like to hate criticism about their favorite game. You're dumb. You're stupid. People are allowed to criticize it. And then you got the other side who are like, "Nah, it's just bad. It's just shit. Why? Because I don't like it." You have to give a justifiable reason. Give a justification for why you don't like a certain thing. Give good feedback. Give good feedback. That helps games. Not criticism. Good feedback helps improve games. Good critique. That's valuable. that you can back up your points with. That's good feedback.
But wouldn't you want the game to be better? That's exactly what I'm doing. So why are you mad at the fact that I'm criticizing the game? It's like their brains are too small. Their brains are the size of a raisin, so they don't understand. And I also
they got the small braids. They got the tiny arm braids.
I'm not gonna say their names, but you guys might know who exactly I'm talking about. These content creators, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, they're fake as fuck, bro. I'm gonna be real. They're fake.
Ziox.
Like, they don't give. They're genuine. Like, they don't
express
their actual
brand online.
They don't
brand new online, dude.
They will see an update trailer.
Call them.
Right,
don't be a pussy, man. Hey, yo, you call yourself a prodigy? Don't be a pussy, man. Say that name, bro. Say that motherfucking name.
Went through whatever. They will say, "Oh, this is the best update in Genshin Impact history." Stop fucking lying.
Brand new online, dude.
Not the best update. You're lying to yourself. The reason why these people, they glaze these games, not these games, but they glaze Genshin, is because over 75% of their community, their subscribers, are Hoyo shills. They're white knights. So if they say anything negative about Genshin, they're going to lose a chunk of subscribers and they're going to lose a lot of viewers. They're going to lose a lot of views. That's the main reason why they're always glazing the game, because they know that over 75% of their community are Hoyo shills. But once they say anything bad about the game, it's over. And I don't blame them. Hey, if you want to make money, if you want to, keep making money, do your thing, bro. Get that bread. But I'm still gonna call them out and say, hey, bro, like, if you
I think there are a lot of people who do play certain games because it is what makes them money. I don't think this applies to just Genshin. I think this applies to a lot of creators in a lot of games. I think they play because they enjoy it, sure, to a degree, but I think they also play it because they know that's what they kind of have to play. I think this extends much past Genshin, but it's very true for Genshin. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the shoe fits.
If you know that the game is literally lacking, if you know there's a lot of issues in this game, don't be afraid to say what you got to say. And of course, there's probably a contract, and that's the reason why they don't want to say anything about it. But dude, fuck the contract, bro. Like, fuck the contract, man. This game is trash. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if in the contract, somewhere in the contract, it says you can't shit talk our game. You can't say anything bad about our game. If that's actually true, bro, like, yo, Hoyoverse, y'all niggas is trash as fuck for that. Like, y'all actually lame as hell if you guys have that on your contract. Like, that is just so embarrassing.
Shout out, Boba.
Dumb. Like, I don't understand why some companies do that shit. Now, I'm not assuming that they have that in their contract. I'm just saying, if they do have that in their contract, fuck y'all, bro. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, it's what the Murara situation is like crazy. You're not allowed to talk bad about Genshin. You're not allowed to play these other games. It's very hella cringe. It's very hella cringe. You know what I mean? Any company that does that, it's just you want to be skeptical of. You want to be skeptical. Yo, so many bobos. Hi guys. I think there are CCs who should criticize the game if it's wrong because their opinion matters more than other guys. I don't agree. I think everyone's opinion matters so long as you can justify it. Like, just because a CC has a platform and has an opinion doesn't mean their opinion is valued more. To me, it's about how can you intellectually, logically back up your opinion. Can you justify it? Can you make a good reasoning for it? If yes, I think anyone's opinion is as valid as the other. And just CCs just have a bigger platform. They should be way more aware of how influential their opinions can be. I think that's the difference, right? Because CCs can influence other people's opinions. So they have to make sure that your opinions are well thought out.